Welcome to Real Crusades History, the complete history of the Crusades Series. Part 2, Christendom's Crucible, Survival, Endurance, Rebirth. Episode 6, Charlemagne's Iberian Campaign. Over 6 feet tall, strongly built, with piercing eyes, an aquiline nose, and thick, muscled limbs, Charlemagne, king of the Franks, was a physically imposing monarch, but he was good-humored, moving easily among his people. He enjoyed conversing with the old men on matters of politics or history, and practicing military arts with the younger men. He was devout, hearing Mass every morning, and reciting Vespers every evening. Early in his reign, he inflicted a decisive defeat on the Lombards of Italy, securing the Papal States. Next, he subdued Saxony, receiving the surrender of the Saxon chieftains, and requiring them to adopt Christianity. By 777, Charlemagne was the most powerful Christian ruler west of Constantinople. When Charlemagne received an appeal from Suleiman, Abbasid governor of Barcelona, he saw it as an opportunity, not only to expand his own power, but to bring aid to the Christians of Spain. Abdurrahman, the Umayyad Emir of Cordoba, was intent on suppressing every trace of the Abbasids in Spain. Suleiman promised Charlemagne Barcelona and Zaragoza if he would send his army to throw back the Umayyads. In May 778, the Frankish army marched south and crossed the Pyrenees. After occupying Pamplona, Charlemagne moved on Zaragoza, but the city gates remained closed to him. Hussein ibn Yahya, the Abbasid governor of Zaragoza, reneged on Suleiman's terms and chose to resist the Franks. Zaragoza stands in an arid stretch of Aragon. Charlemagne's army was not equipped for a long siege. Nevertheless, the Franks did make an attempt on the city. Zaragoza held out, and news arrived that Barcelona too had now turned against the Christians. Furious, Charlemagne gave the inevitable order to withdraw, destroying Pamplona on his way back. On August 15th, 778, Charlemagne's army was at Roncesvalles. Thick forests covered the jagged hillsides. So narrow was the pass that the Frankish army was strung out for miles in thin columns. From the ledges above, a force of Basques hid and watched. They waited until twilight, when the bulk of the army had moved through the pass, then fell upon the rearguard, peppering them with boulders and arrows. As the rearguard broke in confusion and was separated from the main army, the Basques rushed upon them. Though the Franks stood and fought fiercely, the Basques overwhelmed them. It was in this ambush that died Roland, lord of the Breton marches. Roland's heroism at this impossible moment would become the stuff of legend in European literature. By the time Charlemagne realized what had happened, it was over, and the Basques had vanished into the night. The epic Song of Roland records Charlemagne's lament over the loss of his friend and comrade. My friend Roland, God lay your soul on flowers, in paradise with all the glorious host. You came to Spain with a cruel overlord. No day shall pass henceforth that I'll not mourn. Charlemagne's Iberian campaign was a rare disappointment in his long career of triumphs. Indeed, it was Abdurrahman who benefited the most from it. After the departure of the Franks, Hussein killed Suleiman just before Abdurrahman arrived with a vast Umayyad army to subdue Zaragoza. Once the city fell, Hussein was dragged before Abdurrahman and executed for rebellion. Al-Andalus was now fully Umayyad, and Zaragoza became Abdurrahman's most important northern fortress.